I get questions from people about what's a wrongful death case in the state of Florida. And really what it is it allows a deceased person, a case to be brought on behalf of that deceased person. Let me give you an example. If I were involved in a car accident today, if I survived that car accident, I, in my own name, could bring a lawsuit with my attorney against the person that caused that particular car accident. I'd be doing it myself. If I passed away in that car accident, my estate could stand in my shoes, so to speak, and bring that lawsuit on my behalf to go after that other person. It's a legal entity that allows a person to proceed, whether it be in court or someplace else. And estate really is the essence or the belongings or the accumulations of a person when they've passed away. That really is kind of what the estate is. If an attorney files paperwork with the circuit court can appoint a personal representative of that estate to act on the estate's behalf. That personal representative can pay bills on behalf of the deceased person, the estate, can conduct business on behalf of the estate. They can also, enter into contracts and bring claims on behalf of the estate, on behalf of the deceased person. And that's what would happen in a wrongful death claim. In that car accident example I gave you, my estate could bring a claim through the personal representative that's appointed by the court to bring a claim or a case against the person that caused my injury and eventually my death. A couple of things to keep in mind with a wrongful death case. In a normal case, if I survive the case, I've got a certain period of time called a statute of limitations. There's also a statute of limitations related to wrongful death cases. Florida law recently changed. In most car accident cases, it's a 2-year statute, which means you've got 2 years from the date of the accident to bring your claim. Same thing with any wrongful death case. Wrongful death cases require that you bring your claim, that you prosecute your claim within 2 years, which means you either resolve the case within 2 years, and if you can't resolve it, you better make sure that your attorney has filed a lawsuit in circuit court within 2 years of the date of the death. Otherwise, you can waive that claim. Now, what can the estate go after if you actually have that wrongful death claim or case that's filed? Well, the estate that's there on behalf of the deceased person can recover certain expenses like medical expenses, funeral expenses related to the person's death, accumulations. If an attorney, let's say, or a doctor or a movie star is making a certain amount of money at the time of their death, and it's anticipated they were going to work for a certain period of time, those economic losses caused by the death can be sought by the estate in that wrongful death claim. There's also other people that can bring wrongful death claims as part of the wrongful death claim. Spouse, children, sometimes parents can also bring a claim along with the estate's claim that relates to their losses. Loss of companionship, support, financial services that, let's say, children were getting, or family members. In some scenarios, mothers and fathers can actually get that type of support as well as part of the wrongful death claim. So when people look at these things, a lot of times they think it's a very, very complicated thing. It really isn't. That estate, that wrongful death claim, is really just handling the claim on behalf of the deceased person. And then what goes along with it is family members may also be able to make some claims as well. A couple things to keep in mind. I mean, if I get involved in a car accident, if we go back to our example, and let's say I've got to go through a bad surgery and I've got a lot of long-lasting effects and injuries as a result of that accident. That's what's called pain and suffering here in the state of Florida. I can recover damages, money for that long-term pain and suffering, if I can prove it, of course, in a regular auto accident claim if I survive the accident. If I pass away in the accident, I can't. Generally speaking, the estate can't go after those types of what we call non-economic damages as part of the estate. There are some exceptions, but generally speaking, the deceased person isn't going to be able to recover that type of non-economic damage in the wrongful death claim. The estate's typically limited to economic damages, again, medical expenses, funeral expenses, lost accumulations, lost income, that type of stuff. The estate can go after, but generally speaking, non-economic damages aren't the type of thing you can go after. So a couple of differences there, but if you keep those types of things in mind, you basically can proceed on those types of cases. If you're a family member and you've lost somebody and you're wondering, hey, should we bring some sort of a wrongful death claim on behalf of our family member who's deceased? Well, it's certainly what you do is you talk to an attorney about it. They can provide some information about, what's a reasonable claim and what's not, and what's going to be able to be prosecuted and what's not.